Good morning. It was interesting to read your feedback on the idea that I gave you 2 days ago, the big and complicated soul entanglement theory. We see what we want to see. This was just another confirmation of us people naturally hearing what we want to hear. So 99% of you got the idea of soul entanglement confused with the idea of soulmates as something positive, as like a pair in a way of a man and woman in love, and they have this extra something that their souls are connected and that they were meant to be. So most of you saw it as that. What I was talking about is soul entanglement, and I won't go much into that today, but just to clarify, this is something negative. Soul entanglement is a confusion, is a result of pain and suffering by two people who have never met and who will most likely never even meet. And most likely they're of the same gender because they can really identify with each other. Like we women identify with, most likely, women of similar age and similar looks or similar position in society and so on, similar cultural backgrounds. So soul pairing, which I call entanglement, usually happens between the souls of similar circumstances, similar lives and similar problems. So that is a confusing negative side effect of suffering and pain. Very different, on the other hand, is the idea of soulmates and the connection between two souls where you're meant to be together, and it was decided way before you were born in your physical body that these two people are going to meet and they're going to love each other and they're going to have something really special between them because the connection was meant to be. The connection came from a long time ago, prescribed by the higher oversoul. Yeah. I also like the other idea, don't get me wrong, I'm not only talking about the problematic and confusing soul entanglement, which is actually negative. Yeah, then let's talk about the positive idea of soulmates. And yes, you can say two people that have never met suddenly do meet somehow on the internet, or they just imagine that there is that somebody out there, and finally when they see that person they understand that they've been looking for that person for their whole life, and they feel that there is something extra between them, not just that they're attracted physically to each other or to what they have to say, but there is that little extra. And that can be, let's say, artificially created. So we're getting into another theory of mine, which is implanting. Basically what you're doing, you take a part of your soul and you implant it into another person, a person who you would want to create a forever long-lasting connection with. And you can experience what they are experiencing, you can feel what they're going through at any stage of their life. Doesn't matter if you're living separately or together. Implanting is a process that you work on consciously. As in soul entanglement was not. Soul entanglement just happens. It happens without both people realizing it. Implanting and putting a part of your soul into another person to make the long-lasting connection. Usually it lasts forever, and it goes into your future lives as well, into whatever is past this physical body. So you blend into each other. If you are conscious of that ability in you, and we all have that ability, but the key point is, if you're aware of the ability, or if you are not aware of it, or you're saying, well, no, me, I could never do that, then really you cannot. If you believe that you can do it and you don't have a trace of a doubt that you can do it, then you can do it. So the point is in believing that that is possible, that there is something not physical residing in you, which is life, which is soul, which is God, whatever you like to call it, and you can take intentionally a part of that and put it into another person, add to them. And the intention should always be positive. You are doing this for their benefit and your benefit, and basically it's a connection of love, unconditional love. You take the consequences, take the responsibility for the consequences, and you realize that most likely it cannot be separated again. It's like water. You take a glass of sweet water and salty water and you mix them together in one container, and it becomes a mix, and you can't really take it back and separate it, because this is what happens once our souls blend into each other. They can never be separated, because they grow together into something, they develop together, so they become part of each other, and cannot think of them as two separate beings anymore. When that happens, when you implant part of yourself in another person intentionally, and later, at a later stage of your life, you realize, well, I regret doing that, or I would like to undo it, then it is really hard. It's like ripping something out of another person's soul, literally. And that hurts both. First, because it requires an enormous amount of energy to rip something out of another person, which is part of them now. It's like ripping their heart out. They might die, or they might feel very, very hurt and depressed if you're trying to take yourself away from them. And it's better to just let it be and be at peace with it, that a part of you is in another person. It's like donating blood and realizing, okay, well, my blood is in somebody else's veins, and that is fine. I've donated blood, I've helped them save their life, and it's just like that. And there's the other side. If the other person realizes what is happening and they're trying to get away from you for some reason, yet they feel this this eternal connection to you, even though they're mentally with their brain and their ego trying to get away from you, then it hurts, because first their inside, their soul does not let them forget you, does not let them part from you, because it is a part of you. The further they try to hold themselves back from you, the further they try to push you away, the more it hurts the core of themselves. And they don't really realize why it is hurting. Well, that is because you're actually a blend, because your implant, your soul is inside them, blended in with their own soul. And the connection can never be broken. So best is to live with the connection and to make the best of it. When I say the best is, first, understand it. Second, just realize that that is the new you. That is you. That other person, if the circumstances, physical circumstances in your life make you hate them, then you have to somehow get over it, because hating yourself is never good. And you should be loving towards yourself and towards another person if they've implanted something into you. Getting too much? Okay, well, maybe we should stop here and give you this to think about, or tell you more about this. But I think this is enough for today. Otherwise, when there's too much information, which is way out of this world, then people get overloaded with the amount of newness and switch off. So nothing gets to the core, nothing really penetrates the filters of, okay, I know what this is. And most of us have filters of familiarity. It's like, yeah, I kind of know where this belongs, and I kind of get the feel of it, and I've heard this before here and there, and this is similar to that theory and this theory. But when something is new, there is this defense mechanism. The filters of familiarity say, "Meow, meow, meow." This is something that we cannot get through us, the filters, because it's new and it doesn't really make sense yet. But once you let it through to yourself and make it your idea with your own experiences, mixed with whatever you can to adapt it to whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so today we've talked about artificial soulmates, which is not really artificial when you want to connect to somebody more than on a physical level, as in to, let's say, fuck them or kiss them or make love to them. And there's this other connection, there's a spiritual connection, and this is a way to make a spiritual connection. Because, okay, yes, there are some people in this world, somewhere miles and miles away, that are connected to us already by nature. That we were divided from the same oversoul, and our souls that are split into our bodies now were one before. And then they were split and put into different people. Most likely of different ages, and who knows what gender, we speak different languages and we live in totally different places. And most likely people like that never meet. So what is the next best thing to do is to take a part of your soul and put it in another person with all your unconditional love for them, with all the understanding, with all the energy of creation, empowered by your excitement. And that always helps. Whatever you do with excitement and passion, it just goes, it flows, and as you can see, eyes light up, crazy light, and things work out. Okay, so have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.